Today, of course, is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. The South Carolina Republican primary is tomorrow. And so even though you may not be accustomed to turning on MSNBC at 6 p.m. Eastern time on a Saturday, tomorrow you must. Chris Matthews will be down south with Howard Fineman and Michael Steele. Gene Robinson, who's from South Carolina, is going to be there in Charleston for us. And here in New York, I'm going to be anchoring along with Ed Schultz and the Reverend Al Sharpton and Steve Schmidt and Lawrence O'Donnell. Now, Lawrence made a point on the night of the New Hampshire coverage, which I think is really important and which I think has been unduly overlooked in the whole 2012 process. And the point is this. Mitt Romney winning New Hampshire actually needs an asterisk on it, because Mitt Romney winning New Hampshire was a foregone conclusion. Not because Mitt Romney's the front runner, because Mitt Romney was out ahead, or because Mitt Romney had a good campaign. Mitt Romney winning New Hampshire was a foregone conclusion because, historically speaking, New Hampshire couldn't have been won by anybody other than him, because he's the guy from Massachusetts. The guy from Massachusetts, whether he's a Republican or a Democrat, always wins New Hampshire. In 2004, John Kerry. In 1992, Paul Tsongas. In 1988, Michael Dukakis. 1964, Henry Cabot Lodge. 1960, John F. Kennedy. When a Massachusetts politician is running for president in New Hampshire, it is a safe bet that they are going to win in New Hampshire. There are only two exceptions to this rule, only two exceptions to the Massachusetts guy winning in New Hampshire in modern political history. 1980, when incumbent President Jimmy Carter got a primary challenge from the left, from inside the Democratic Party, from Ted Kennedy. Although Ted Kennedy was from Massachusetts, he did not beat the incumbent president in that New Hampshire primary. So that's kind of an exception, but it was an incumbent president, so not really. The only other exception to the Massachusetts guy not winning in New Hampshire, the Massachusetts guy being surprisingly weak, defying history to lose New Hampshire, the only other example, Mitt Romney. When he lost New Hampshire in 2008 to John McCain of Arizona. John McCain cleaned Mitt Romney's clock in 2008. McCain surged from a horrible fourth-place finish in Iowa to win in New Hampshire, beating even the guy from Massachusetts, who always wins New Hampshire. Then John McCain went on to South Carolina, which is not exactly a John McCain kind of state. And what happened in South Carolina? Not only did John McCain win there, but his purported big, serious establishment challenger, the Massachusetts guy, got killed in South Carolina. Mitt Romney came in fourth place in South Carolina in 2008. He only got 15% of the vote. Not only did John McCain beat him, but Mike Huckabee beat him there, too. And Fred Thompson beat him there. Who? Yeah, that Fred Thompson. So put aside all of the coronation stuff. Put aside all of the Mitt Romney inevitability storyline. Blank slate. Say you've been in a hyperbaric chamber for the last year. You have no idea what's going on. If you just took a snapshot, look, at the presidential race right now. Iowa, the first contest appears to have been won by Rick Santorum. New Hampshire, won by the Massachusetts guy, whatever, Paul Tsongas, Mitt Romney. Heading into South Carolina, yeah, the Massachusetts Paul Tsongas, Mitt Romney guy has the big campaign and all the establishment credit, but last time South Carolina had the chance to vote on him, they gave him $1.50. He only got 15%. He lost to who? He lost to Fred Thompson. It's true that Mitt Romney is the default nominee, that everybody just assumes he's got it wrapped up. But we opened this show last night by saying that yesterday was a disastrous day for Mitt Romney, and frankly, today was worse. Today, Mitt Romney actually did something on tape that, if he is the nominee, is going to haunt him all the way through November. This is one of those issues for him that started small. Back in June, in the really early days of the full-time 7-days-a-week campaign, you may remember the Romney campaign making its opening argument, unveiling what they wanted to be the defining message of the Romney campaign. They put Mr. Romney in front of shuttered factories, remember, and in depressed economic locations. They had him talk about how awful the economy was.
When he took office, the economy was in recession, and he made it worse, and he made it last longer.
President Obama did not cause the recession, but he made it worse. The trouble that Mitt Romney got into over this was twofold. The first problem was that some of the places that he went to as photo ops to demonstrate the horribly depressing impact of the economic recession, those places did not want to be characterized that way, and they did not appreciate Mitt Romney talking smack about their towns. So that was part of the problem with his campaign launch. The other part, though, was this.
When he took office, the economy was in recession, and he made it worse.
He didn't create the recession, but he made it worse and longer.
He did not cause this recession, but he made it worse.
How can you continue to say that things are worse when they really aren't worse?
I didn't say that things are worse.
That was the other problem with this launch. Mitt Romney kept saying it was central to his message that the economy was made worse by President Obama. And of course, the economy has not gotten worse under President Obama. The economy had essentially been thrown out of a 30-story building and was lying dead on the ground when Barack Obama started his presidency. And the economy has since sort of pulled itself back together and started to sit up. Nobody would call this a great economy, but compared to how it was, it is definitely not worse. But when called out on that, Mitt Romney weirdly just denied that he ever said what he plainly had said over and over and over again. I never said it was worse, except all the times I said it was worse. Did I say I never said it was worse? So the launch did not go smoothly. But we knew anyway, with all the flubs and the messing it up, that was his basic message. The economy's bad. President Obama is bad on the economy, and I, Mitt Romney, will be better. That is the basis for his campaign. That's what it boils down to. That's why he's running. Bad economy, President Obama, bad on the economy. Mitt Romney will be good on the economy. Since then, that assertion, that justification for his campaign has been really tested. Mitt Romney is not campaigning on the basis of his time as Massachusetts governor. In fact, he talks about himself as if that time never even happened in his life.
You have to choose someone who's not been a lifelong politician. For me, politics is not a career. For me, my career was being in business and starting a business and making it successful.
Pay no attention to my time as governor and all the other times I ran for office and failed. The basis for Mitt Romney's central claim that he would be better at dealing with the economy is his private sector experience, right? His time in business. Well, Mitt Romney's time in business was his time at Bain Capital. And however much the Republican establishment wants to protect him on that issue, wants to shield his time at Bain Capital from any criticism, they want to make it an asset only and nothing bad can ever be said about it. No matter how much they want to do that, the criticism of his time at Bain isn't made up. It's real, and it's been around for a long time. And even though the establishment succeeded in shutting down other Republican candidates from talking about it, the Republican Party establishment cannot shut up everybody. And the problems with Bain are a mainstream journalistic story. I mean, there's something there. It's in the Wall Street Journal. It's in Reuters. It's in the Washington Post. It's in the Tampa Bay Times. There is stuff there to be reported on. So since launching his campaign, which is about how great he'll be on the economy because of his business experience, real, serious, widespread questions have been raised about that business experience and whether or not it's an asset, whether it makes people more or less likely to vote for him. Mr. Romney has also been clumsy to the point of pitiful on addressing the inevitable questions about how rich that work at Bain made him. Questions about all of his wealth and what he has done with all of his wealth.
I like being able to fire people who provide services to me.
Corporations are people, my friend. Rick, I'll tell you what. $10,000 bucks? $10,000 bet?
I'm not in the betting business.
Oh, okay.
Back in 1967, your father set a groundbreaking, what was then a groundbreaking standard in American politics. He released his tax returns. He released them for not 1 year, but for 12 years. And when he did that, he said this: 1 year could be a fluke, perhaps done for show. When you release yours, will you follow your father's example?
Maybe.
I don't know how many years I'll release. I'll take a look at what our documents are.
This campaign has been a real test for Mitt Romney. And after all of that, what is the state of Mitt Romney's core argument? Remember, his core argument, why he's running. Economy is bad. President Obama is bad on the economy. Mitt Romney will be good on the economy. Where are we on that central justification for why Mitt Romney is running for president?
You've also noted that there are signs of improvement on the horizon in the economy. How do you answer the president's argument that the economy is getting better in a general election campaign if you yourself are saying that it's getting better?
Well, of course it's getting better. The economy always gets better after a recession. There's always a recovery.
Of course the economy is getting better. This is Mitt Romney speaking today on the conservative radio show that's hosted by Laura Ingraham. Listen to this next part.
Isn't it a hard argument to make if you're saying, like, okay, he inherited this recession and he took a bunch of steps to try to turn the economy around, and now we're seeing some more jobs, but vote against him anyway? Isn't that a hard argument to make? Is that a stark enough contrast?
But have you got a better one, Laura? It just happens to be the truth.
If Mitt Romney does get to be the Republican nominee for president this year, do you want to know what the ads in the general election are going to sound like?
He inherited this recession, and he took a bunch of steps to try to turn the economy around, and now we're seeing some more jobs, but vote against him anyway? Isn't that a hard argument to make?
If you got a better one, Laura, it just happens to be the truth.
This is a ready-made campaign ad. Even Mitt Romney agrees that President Obama is turning the economy around and things are getting better. So vote for Mitt Romney despite that? What happened to the core justification for why Mitt Romney is running for president? It and his campaign appear to be collapsing. Collapsing is the word that the editor-in-chief of Gallup used today to describe Mr. Romney's poll numbers. Here's the latest polling out of South Carolina, just hours before the voting is due to begin there. Newt Gingrich has opened up a 6-point lead over Mr. Romney in the Clemson-Palmetto poll. This is what it looks like on the national level. Mitt Romney beginning to see his poll numbers, what was that word? Collapse, while Newt Gingrich is on the rise. If you ask me, I think you can't discount the fact that Newt Gingrich spent millions of dollars against Mitt Romney in South Carolina, and that matters. But it is also the collapse of the basic justification for Mitt Romney. Newt Gingrich is just killing Mitt Romney at the debates in recent days. There have been 2 this week. There's supposed to be another one in Florida on Monday. Mr. Romney today making sounds about potentially not showing up for the Monday debate in Florida. The Romney campaign kicking a whole contingent of press off their campaign plane today. The Romney campaign warning their supporters that they expect to lose tomorrow. In 2008, John McCain kicked Mitt Romney's butt. This year, none of these other Republican candidates is John McCain. But could Mitt Romney still be beaten the same way he was beaten the last time? On a day like today, it feels more possible than ever. Joining us next is the man who ran John McCain's 2008 campaign. Stay tuned.